I never worked much with wood until we bought this house in 1979. 3 rooms in the basement were dirt, so I started digging it out with a dolly, handling all the dirt 5 times, making a 24-inch ledge around, laying cement block and cementing the floor. Long story. It took me 3 full years. I never had any help at all. There was only one cupboard in the house, and the rooms are a good size of 15 by 15, so I had to build some storage space. I started with this one in the bedroom using just plywood. It goes through the suspended ceiling into the original one, which is 9 foot high and 24 inches deep. Cheryl has it full. I had to make cupboards in the kitchen, so we bought a shopsmith, and these pictures will show you just what I did with it. First, I had to build a workshop, and this was the first tool cabinet I made. Here's a 15-drawer organizer, very, very handy. Here's a router table I made with a vacuum attachment on it. I made this box cutting fixture, clamps and all, also the templates. Here's one for cutting blind dovetails. I made these router bit boxes to keep organized. Also made some cutters from hardened steel at work. After I got a little better, and being a machinist all my life, I designed and built this thread cutting fixture, which I took to a Valley Machine reunion one time and showed it to the guys, which were amazed and wanted me to get a patent on it. About 10 years later, I seen where someone made one out of steel. Duh. I got started on the kitchen cupboards, and here are the first 2, the ones that I started on. I made 3 top and 3 bottom on this one wall. The bottom ones could only be 18 inches deep and would cost a fortune since they were not standard. I made them out of plywood and glued Formica on the outside. Here's them first 6 plus that corner shelf in the front there on the left. You can see I didn't have much space going into the bathroom. I refinished the original cupboards on the left to the stove and added the dishwasher. I made the 2 narrow vertical ones right left of the stove for baking sheets, cooking racks, etc. on the bottom, and pot holders and stuff in the top. And I added a microwave and made that cabinet on top of it for spices. Also, there's one at the top right with pull-out shelves. On the bottom right one, with pull-out drawers for cooking utensils on the top and for lids in the drawers on the bottom of it. I finished the kitchen with 3 cabinets going to the front room instead of the wasted space. You can't see them very good, but they are flush with a white archway. I made this wall-to-wall cupboard in the spare room, but bought the bifold doors for it. It is deep, and Cheryl has it filled clear to the top, clear to the doors. With wasted space above the shower stall, so I made this cupboard above it for sheets, towels, toilet paper, etc., etc. I made all the oak projects from scrap lumber that I got from Blaney's lumber mill when I used to get firewood there for the winter. I would stack the uneven slabs to dry, cut and plane them, and make different things. That's why the colors look different in this picture. Still works good, and who gives a damn about the different shades of red, chestnut, and white oaks, which are hard to distinguish when not stained. I bought some new router bits to start making raised panel things like this vanity in the bathroom. These 2 corner ones above the commode are very, very handy, and also it used to be wasted space. I made this fold down step stool for Cheryl to get into the cupboard on top of the shower stall. More wasted space across from the toilet, so I made this book rack to read while resting on the commode. Also a handy shelf on top. Here's an accomplishment that I am very proud of. I had wasted space behind the side door and made plans for a 3 bookshelf with a letter holder on top. I entered in a national woodworking contest for the kitchen category and won first place for it. Again, I will say that I'm very proud of it. Made this VCR stand to match that hutch right there with a roll top door in the bottom. Made this roll up bread box and banana holder out of oak. A rather large cherry tree blew down in front of my camp, so I made another fixture for cutting trees long ways. I drug this tree up in the yard and cut slabs and took them home, stacked them until dry, cut and planed them, and made this sweater cupboard for the bedroom with a drawer on the bottom. More wasted space going to the front room, so I designed and made this cookbook rack for Cheryl. It is full. Here's a blanket rack I made for the front room. I seen wire hat holders, so I made this one out of wood. I seen one of these at the doctor's office, so I made 2 of them. One of them for the rec room and one for in the hallway. The next picture. They're very handy with that shelf on top of them too for hats and stuff. I made 4 of these shelf boxes for good friends at camp. I burned hunting pictures on 4 sides and also the top. I think they all liked them. Should have. Took many hours making each one of them.
I got $1.25 and I'm just ran the clock. But don't let no
There's a pine bookshelf for my rec room.
I got 50 cents more than I'm gonna keep.
I made this oak 54 golf ball display for my brother-in-law. Here's a 48 golf ball display and also a 100 pencil holder that I made from walnut. I made one for Sickle, brother-in-law, and myself. Made this tapered back cabinet for my camp, very handy. I made this CD stand for my nephew Troy. He has it filled up, probably needs about 2 more of them. I did buy plans, but I cut all the wood and made this chime clock. Also one for my daughter. Again, I bought the plans, but I made, cut, and painted all the pieces for the seasonal calendar. Also a box to keep the month images in. Couple of ash bowls I played around making. Tall and short plastic bag dryers I made for a couple people. You can't see the finish on this clock and barometer, but it's high gloss. I made this small table to put the microwave on at camp for more storage space underneath it. Just some of the things I play around making. The salt shaker has threads at the top of it for filling, not a plug in the bottom. Toothpick holder comes up when you pick it up. At the top, it goes back down when closed. Also a small goblet on the right. I see it and I gotta make it. In the back are 3 collapsible baskets that are flat when not in use. Made the cat one for a friend, not me. The finish on this TV organizer is better than it looks here. Mortise and tendons, no nails. Made this ice fishing sled, also with 3 sides and roof with overhang that covers with plastic for when it rains, and also wind protection. Believe me, I used it many times. Cold frame by my basement window for starting my plants. Drum catchers, had to dress them up, mixing them with oak and walnut. A guy gave me some walnut boards to making these 3 clothes holders and a jewelry rack shelf in the middle. He gave them to his kids for Christmas. I had to buy a scroll saw next to play around making the following desktop clocks. This one is for my daughter. This one was for Cheryl at work that amazed woodworkers when they looked at it. This is not two pieces of wood glued together. I routed out the oak, I scroll cut it, then I filled the walnut into it, which shows the scroll cuts with a dark background. I made a golf ball one for an old friend in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Here's a chair for Cheryl's niece, Carrie's son. I seen a picture of this magazine in the light rack and made one for Cheryl's chair in the front room. Here's the one I made by my chair. Here's more of the many things I enjoy playing around and making. One of Cheryl's friends lived on a farm and her house is loaded with cows, images, and wallpaper and all. So I made her a candle holder shaped like a milk can. Also a welcome sign for my porch on the left there. Made a wren house for camp with a screw top for cleaning. Also one of them looked like an apple. Potato and onion box for the hallway. Here's a recipe box. The top props up to hold the recipes. My friend Jack Woods asked me if I could make him a rolling pin for his daughter. Here it is. I seen these sink organizers and made one, and it is very, very handy. I made these that look like a golf ball sitting on a tee for a guy that owned a Paradise Hills golf course, and he used them on the first tee for a long time. I don't know if they're still there or not. I made that gaffle for an officer at the Bridgeport Eagles. Also had to make two dishes, one of oak and the other out of walnut. Made some pot holders from scrap lumber, which we use all the time. The oak serving tray has walnut keys on all corners. Can't see them here. There's a lot of cutting and fitting. The welcome sign is on my front porch. Made this dice game for a good many people. You can play for money if you want to. And that's what that plastic box for. More walnut bowls. I love the grain making things from it. It seems like they're different every time. Here's a Rudolph Christmas thing I made for Cheryl, and that blanket holder again. Here's that bookshelf I made, showed you earlier. It is loaded clear to the top. I had to make a sugar, yeast, red flour holder with a drawer for brown sugar and more, going down to the basement where it's cool. Got my computer and had to make a printer table, also a TV VCR one. This is the last picture of most of the things that I've made, but not all. And here's my playroom where I do spend a lot of time. Used to play pool here, now it's mostly playing with a computer.